everyone, and happy Sunday. I hope you all had a great weekend. I'm just going to take a little bit of time now to review what we're going to be doing ahead this week. And as always, this was posted last week anyway. So for those of you who've been working ahead, you would have already gone through this content. It's a pretty straightforward week as we are working through Unit 2. We'll start into our last major project before the final performance task next week. So that's happening. So take a look for that, okay? All right, so here we are in week 12. Hard to believe that we are already nearing the end of November. I don't really know where the time has gone, honestly, and that we'll be into December next week. And then there's just a few weeks away until your final, I guess, your holiday break, which will be, I'm sure, well received. Don't forget to do your participation activity. It's hyperlinked up here and below. Okay, that's just your attendance check. So tomorrow on Monday, our first task is to write another blog post. So you all have received a mark for your blog for Unit 1. And so now that we're in Unit 2, I will be adding in some additional blog entries. And you will be receiving a mark for your blog at the end of Unit 2 as well. So if you received any feedback from your first blog entry, you might want to take that feedback and apply it to your blog currently. So for example, if I had said, perhaps add in more to your About Me section or consider adding more depth into some of your posts, you might want to refine your blog at this point. And so that when you do receive a mark for your Unit 2 blog, it will reflect those changes, okay? And obviously what you want to do is ensure that your blog entries for Unit 2 are strong, that they connect to the material, are detailed, and obviously do add in those personal elements since it is first-person writing where appropriate. Okay, so today you are going to be asked to watch the following TED Talk video called The Psychology of Self-Motivation. With any TED Talk, you know that you're responsible for also just making sure that you take notes on that content so that you have that readily available for your unit test as well as your final exam. So when it comes to studying, you have that content, you don't forget about it because you could see these videos, the articles that are assigned to you at any point on those future testing situations, okay? And then what you'll do from there is you're going to write a blog entry and based on these questions. So the first question is just an open-ended question about yourself, and then the rest are based on the video. So what I want you to do is, again, making sure that you're making strong connections to the video and proving to me that you have watched the video, reviewed the video, and then sort of interpreted it and reflected on it in your own space. Don't forget to also make connections to the lessons that we've been doing in Unit 2. So anything on motivation that you feel applies to this particular blog, you might want to provide evidence of that in your writing. Okay. On Tuesday, you've got to review a lesson on individual behavior. So again, making sure that you're taking notes on the slide deck. And then when you're done, you're going to be completing a series of quizzes. These are not quizzes I'll be marking. These are personality quizzes. So kind of cool. You get to actually learn a little bit about your own individual personality, and then you'll be provided space to reflect on that. So you're going to take the Big 5 personality quiz, the Myers-Briggs personality quiz, and then the personality A/B quiz. Then you're going to write a blog entry based on your results. So again, I want you to make sure that you are reflecting on these quiz results, making sure that you're providing evidence that you've done the quizzes, that you are connecting it to the information that we've learned in class, and also just in general thinking about the questions that I've assigned to you, okay? And then when you're done these 2 blog entries, I'm gonna ask that you republish your blog. So depending on the nature of the blog that you're using, whether it's Wix or Weebly, you actually do have to republish your blog to make sure that when I do open up the original URL that you sent me, that I'll be able to see these next 2 blog entries. So in total, you should have an About Me section as well as 7 blog entries after this week. Okay. So I've actually reiterated that here for you. So this is all due next Monday, as you know, whatever day that is. So Monday, the 29th. All right. Wednesday, we've got a reading on motivation as well as some guided questions. So that's really, really simple. So again, you're just asked to do a reading, make sure that you make notes on the reading and then answer the questions and then submit that in Dropbox. And then you've got the rest of the week to, Thursday to complete all of that. So what I've mentioned here is to think about for next week an adult figure in your life that you think you could interview as it pertains to their work environment, their work motivation, stress, and then also how they are goal-oriented, in terms of their work environment. So extrinsically and intrinsically. So meaning that I want you to try to think of somebody in your life who's an adult figure, someone who is a mentor, a role model, um, someone that you admire, who has a position that you also admire in their workplace, and that you would like to learn more about, and sort of how they got to the position that they did and how they manage certain things within their positions at this particular time. And this will be applied to your next project next week, where you'll be actually interviewing them. Okay, so again, you want to think of somebody that you can interview. We know that because of COVID, this can be done anyway. It can be done in person. It can be done over the computer now, in whatever way you think that's easiest for you. So let's say, for example, you have someone overseas that you just it's your aunt overseas, and they have an incredible position, and you've always wanted to learn more about it. Then don't let that hinder you from choosing them, because you can always orchestrate an interview over the computer. It doesn't have to be in person. Okay. So that's just something for you to take home this week and think about for homework. And we'll be dealing with that next week. Okay. And then Friday's a PD day, so that's exciting. So all you have to do this week are the 2 blog entries. You've got the lesson. Okay, so making sure you're taking strong notes on any of that content. And then the reading on motivation and the questions. Okay. If you have any questions about any of that, let me know. Should be a fun week. And then I hope you have a wonderful long weekend. And I'll see you next week when it's December. That's wild. Okay. Let me know if you need anything, and I'll see you online.